yeah, that is my plan, and like it's not a personal thing, but yeah, of course I want to punch him as hard as I can in the face, in the body, every limb. I want to feel in pain, and I do want to make it his last fight, of course. You know, so every punch, every rep, every push-up, every sit-up I've ever made is going to come out in the next Sunday, and unfortunately, it's Errol Spence that's in the way for him.
I mean, that's what everybody plans to do. I mean, that's the same to me. I can say vice versa. So, you know, I think he knows his back is against the wall, so he got to come with it all, and I'm pretty sure that that's what he's going to do. You know, he stated that he's going to press me, and you know, he's going to put his will on me. So, you know, as you know, Tim Tszyu, that's the type of guy he is. And me, you're going to see one of the best me. I'm going to put on a great show. I'm going to put on a great performance. I'm focused. I'm ready. Been training hard, and I'm ready to go. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great event from top to bottom. It's going to be I'm going to put on a great show, great performance. Tim is going to come to fight. I'm going to come to fight. And I guarantee you, it's going to end early.
The final warnings have been delivered as Spence Jr. and Tszyu promise fireworks, with one predicting retirement and the other vowing to end the fight early.
I don't think he's a better fighter than me on the inside, but
yeah, that's clear.
You know, I don't think he's a better fighter on the inside, but even if he is, you know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, I can adjust, and you know, I have a, you know, a different game plan. I think I can, you know, vary my style up a little bit. You know, I think it's just really just one way with him.
Before even the first punch is thrown, Spence believes he has spotted several weaknesses in Tszyu's style and insists he is fully prepared to expose them once they step into the ring on fight night.
I don't think he has that many different game plans, or he's not that type of fighter that's gonna box around the ring. If you see his feet, you know, his footwork's not, you know, is not the prettiest. So I think he's got it. You know, he's gonna have to come forward, because if he fights off his back foot, I mean, that's just freedom for me to do what I want to do. So I think he's a guy that's gonna have to press forward and gonna have to dictate the action.
So if he's backing up with the jab and then getting to him, you think the fight's over?
Yeah, so he back up and I'm hitting off the jab. It's done.
Instead of everything.
On the other hand, Tszyu is making equally brutal promises, vowing to punish every part of Spence's body and leave him battered, bruised, and bloodied before the night is over.
I think, well, we all come into the sport and we've got an opponent and the caliber of a fight like this, you do want to do damage. You're there to not hurt him.
Yeah.
I just want to hit him in every part of his body, his head, his eyes, his nose, his mouth. Of course, that's just, it's not personal for me, it's just what I want to do. And if he can take it personal way, it's not my problem.
Explaining what he sees as Spence's biggest strength, Tszyu says he wears opponents down over the course of a fight. However, he insists that strategy will not work against him because he believes he has the conditioning, toughness, and style to handle it.
I think his biggest key is his front hand and his consistent punching. Mm-hmm. I think that ties a lot of fighters down. But I don't think he's ever been with a 160 pounder.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
160 pounder. Like even the Danny Garcias, these guys were all coming up from 140 and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be a bit of a difference when you're fighting someone like that, because I don't know, you hit harder. You know, when you throw that amount of punches, you also can get hit.
Mm-hmm. Adding to the discussion, Mike Tyson has raised the alarm for Spence, warning that the man standing across from him is a dangerous, skilled fighter whom he believes is even better than his father.
Spence have enough activity. I would like to see Spence do well, but Tszyu's a tough guy too.
Yeah, did you know his father at all, Katsa?
Yes, I met his father.
Yeah, hell of a fighter.
Yeah, very tough.
Yeah, and then I asked him.
I think the son, the father might be tougher. I think the son's a better fighter.
Okay.
The father's probably tougher though, but I think the son, his moves, he's a better fighter.
Okay, all right. Putting on your analyst.
I'm not saying he'll beat his father in a fight, but from his skills, he's the better technician than his father.
However, not everyone agrees with that view. Terrence Crawford, the only fighter to defeat Spence, has boldly predicted a Spence victory while standing inside Tszyu own gym. Crawford revealed that he has even placed a bet on Spence to win. According to him, it is not just confidence speaking. He believes Spence's overall skill set, experience, and championship caliber make him the better fighter heading into this matchup.
It's gonna be good. You know, I got a little wager bet, you know, for my boy Tszyu. You know, he got Tim, I got Errol. But I think it'd be a good fight for both of them at this stage in their career.
And why are you confident that you win that bet with Tszyu? Why's Errol in the fight?
Well, I'm not, you know, 100% confident, you know. I just know, you know, the caliber of fighter that Errol is, you know, just like I know the caliber fighter of Tim. You know, I think both of them have taken a lot of damage in their career so far. But I just think, you know, Errol skill-wise, just edge.
The bad blood between them is already impossible to ignore, but the stylistic battle is drawing just as much attention. Tim Bradley dismissed Tszyu as a tough opponent, calling him a jabroni. He argued that inactivity should not be used against Spence when Tszyu has suffered multiple knockout losses. Max Kellerman, however, believes Tszyu still has the tools needed to give Spence a very difficult fight.
But I do think that if you're gonna come back from that long layoff and then the whooping you got from Terrence Crawford, this is the fight you get it at, because Tim got a name and all that, but Tim, his last couple fights, he been getting whooped on too.
Like I told you, he's been knocked out.
Tim's not a jabroni.
I know, but I'm saying is like...
He is a jabroni. Go
I don't
ahead.
want to call him a jabroni. All I'm saying is...
Straight up jabroni.
Errol kept talking about how I'm going to come back when I want to. And I think he found the right time. He took enough break, long enough break. He found the right opponent for him to get his confidence back. He's going all the way to Australia, though. And we all know this. Boxing is way better when Errol Spence Jr. is involved.
Absolutely.
Facts.
One thing about calling.
Put the house on Errol.
Okay, you're gonna walk back that Tim Tszyu jabroni thing. I'll tell you why. Whatever quality you think he is now, Tim Tszyu represented the best of boxing until the Fundura cut.
Mike Coppinger has expressed concern about Spence, questioning whether he is fully motivated after suggesting he does not appear focused on the future. Also pointed to what he sees as flaws in Spence's durability and questioned his chin. Even so, Coppinger views this as a true 50-50 fight, believing the outcome depends less on styles and more on where each man stands at this stage of his career.
You can have the mindset as well, but the body and everything else can go. So I think he's chinny. I don't think he has a chin. I really don't. He's a guy that's kind of took punches over the course of his career. Sure. His defense is not that great. He keeps his head on that line all the time. He gets hit with a big shot, he goes down. Martinsaliev knocked him out, bro. Stopped him.
But Martinsalyev's good.
And then you know, I think about PTSD.
We got Josh Kelly coming up. Josh Kelly's biggest win against Martinsaliev.
Exactly.
And nobody wanted to fight him.
Martinsaliev dropped him. Like, you know, Martinsalyev's a tough guy.
Nobody wanted to fight him.
What concerns me, I hear you on Zero, I do. What concerns me is Spence. He's saying he doesn't know if he wants to fight after this fight. He hasn't fought in 3 years. He's going up 2 weight classes.
I feel like both guys are at the crossroads.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why it's 50-50. You know what I mean? I think that Tim Tszyu can be very well at the end of his career. If he can't beat a guy that's been off for 3 years like y'all talking about, then what?
It's a wrap.
Then he's a wrap.
Except that
This fight carries a huge element of unpredictability, and Teddy Atlas also weighed in with his prediction. He admitted that Spence has the edge in skill and experience, but believes there are simply too many unanswered questions surrounding his comeback. Because of that, Atlas is picking Tszyu to win. He expects Tszyu to score a stoppage, arguing that Spence's long inactivity will ultimately prove too difficult to overcome.
At the end of the day, if you're asking me for a pick, again, I'd love to pick Spence. I would. I really would. I'll be honest. But being at home and Tszyu being, you know, active, there's too many question marks about Spence. Tszyu, even with the flaws in him, I know what I'm getting. And I think that probably would be enough for me if I had to bet on a fight to favor Tszyu in this one. But who knows? Who knows? You know, but I do know that the past has told us that when you're inactive that long, that alone can be a real problem. That can be a game stopper.
Speaking about the matchup, Tony Bellew believes Spence's long layoff and the effects of his car accident remain legitimate concerns that have influenced his recent performances. Kell Brook, however, sees the situation differently. He believes ring rust will not stop Spence from taking control of the fight. Brook also points out that Tszyu has not looked impressive in his recent outings, making that an equally serious concern heading into this showdown.
But yeah, I can see him dominating that fight. Tszyu, I think he's not been in great form his last couple of fights. So we're gonna see what Errol Spence, what the Crawford fights took out of him. You know, he's probably got a bit of ring rust there. You know, he's obviously been sparring and he's fit and he's training, but mentally when you're in that ring, you know, having that time out and the way he lost to Crawford, you've got a lot of questions to ask yourself.
He doesn't look like the same fighter since the car crash. He looks a lot different, but I mean, listen, anyone would have been lost to Terence Crawford that night, I do believe. But ultimately, where do you think he's at right now, Errol Spence?
While Bellew still has questions about Spence, Brook is completely convinced he will come through this test. He believes Tszyu will struggle to cope with the relentless pressure and physical strength that Spence brings into the ring. Once Spence settles into his rhythm, Tszyu will find it extremely difficult to match the pace, absorb the punishment, and stay competitive throughout the fight.
There's a welterweight Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
So cute on the inside, rough, so heavy-handed, clever.
On the inside, very good body shots. How he can mix it up and yeah.
What does Tim Tszyu bring to the fight?
Not enough for me. Not enough. You know, I think don't get me wrong. I've not watched tons of his fights, but he has when he were on form. You know, when you're on form, you're only as good as who you're up against. You know, as well. I think that this. You know, he's fighting Errol Spence. He's fighting Errol Spence, however you want to put him after the car crash or whatever. He's still fighting Errol Spence, but he's done what he's done in the amateurs, world champion, dominated when he was there.
Stepping into the discussion, Sean Porter believes the bigger risks actually belong to Tszyu, not Spence. He admits Spence's long layoff raises valid questions, but argues the time away also allowed him to recover physically and mentally. Porter points out that Tszyu's recent performances have been far more damaging, leaving little time to rebuild. He also believes the fight's location could quietly work in Spence's favor.
It should be. In my opinion, I think there's more risk for Tim than there is for Errol, because Errol has been on a 3-year layoff. Errol looked terrible his last time out, you know. Tim's quietly picked up 2 wins, didn't look too good his last fight in America, but he went out on his shield, as they like to say. I think Tim has more risk here than Errol.
What is the risk?
For Tim, you know, funny to that question, I think pride is the number one risk. His man has tried to go to America a couple of times. It really didn't work out for him. It's unfortunate, but now you're here on your own home turf, and this, if anywhere, is the only place you could really definitely count on people to show up to watch you box.
The surprising part is that Porter ultimately picked Tszyu to win instead of Spence. He believes the calm and confident way Tszyu has approached this fight speaks for itself. Porter also wonders whether Spence's long layoff has affected his punch resistance, making that a major concern heading into the bout. Regardless of the outcome, he expects a far more brutal and demanding fight than most people are anticipating.
So your prediction is Errol?
It was.
Sorry? You can't wait.
It was.
10 minutes ago, you said Errol was going to win.
Yeah, but what did I just say?
Now you're thinking Tim.
I don't know.
You're swaying. I swayed you. Have I swayed you?
I swayed me. I swayed me on the way here. I swayed. All right. I was sleeping. I was like.
So
you could punch him. What if he punches him? And it's like, funny thing about it, it's like, well, that's what happens in boxing. They get punched.
Exactly.
And I was like, but then I was like, that punch resistance may not be there. You know what I mean? You're asking if this is going to be a dogfight or a chess match. I truly think this is going to become either you get me or I get you.
Porter also believes this fight will not go the distance. Looking at the momentum surrounding the event and everything that has happened during the build-up, he expects an explosive contest from the opening bell. He feels fans are about to witness one of the most thrilling matchups of the year. Porter even backed up that belief with a round-by-round prediction, expecting the action to end well before the final bell.
That's the most I could predict about this fight.
It's not going the distance.
It's not going the distance.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I agree with you.
If somehow it went the distance, it would be like a Castillo and Corrales, like where these guys are bashing each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like kind of scary near the end, you know?
Give me a round.
Where's it stop? 5 or 6?
7.
Oh, 7. That's just a wild guess.
How do you come up with like?
Oh, no.
I hate when people are like, that's Errol in 7. Like, what needed to happen in the first 6 rounds for you to know that the 7th round was gonna? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Adding to the discussion, Paulie Malignaggi believes Spence made a major mistake by accepting such a dangerous fight without first taking a tune-up bout. He argues that returning from a long layoff against an opponent like Tszyu is an enormous gamble. In Malignaggi's view, shaking off ring rust against a top-level contender instead of easing back into competition could prove to be a costly decision.
But with Spence, what are you basing it on, bro? I don't understand how there's no tune-up for this guy going into this fight, but he decided it that way, so we'll see. I mean, I think coming off of 3 years off and then a string of negativity with that car accident and the retina surgery, and then going into the Crawford fight where it's supposed to be competitive, and he basically just one-sidedly puts a beating on him. There are question marks. I think naturally so, and so what do you base it on? People that are picking Errol Spence are basing it on the Errol Spence they saw when he was very good. That's a long time ago. Can Errol summon that again, especially coming off the negative string? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Malignaggi believes Tszyu will come out aggressively and look to overwhelm Spence from the opening bell, hoping to finish the job before the fight settles into a rhythm. At the same time, he warns that this approach carries its own danger. The quicker Tszyu rushes forward, the more chances he gives Spence to land clean counters, making his own chin a serious concern throughout the early rounds.
I think I would expect a quick start from Tim Tszyu. I would expect a quick start from Tim Tszyu. Spence hasn't been hit in a few years. Last time he got hit, he kept going down. I think you don't want to let Errol get into his rhythm and get back into the swing of things. So I think you want to maybe jump on him early and, create some doubt early. But then again, you got to wonder if about Tim early on too, because early on Tim is a bit chinny as well. When if he goes down, a lot of times it's early, then he's okay. He tends to be okay after, right? But I think about the addition of Fennec, and I think about the fact that Fennec was a really strong-willed man as a fighter, and he seems like he's all about the psychology, right? The mentality of a fighter.
Adding to the debate, Jeff Mayweather disagrees with the criticism over Spence skipping a tune-up fight. He believes that, sooner or later, Spence would have needed to face elite competition anyway. Mayweather also points out that Spence has already beaten bigger names throughout his career, despite difficult circumstances. Because of that, he believes Spence has every chance to shock the boxing world with a successful comeback.
It's gonna be a little tough, but the one thing about him, he said he don't believe in taking easy fights he don't take easy fights, so, and in the past, before he even got injured, he did the same thing. When he was gone, came back, fought a tough fight. So I think that he's gonna be prepared. And maybe the time off may have helped him. It probably helped him. I mean, Errol's a great fighter.
Giving his official prediction, Mayweather is leaning towards Spence, but expects a very difficult night. He believes the safest path to victory is a dominant performance or a knockout, because leaving the outcome in the judge's hands would be risky. According to Mayweather, if the fight is close, Spence should not expect to get the decision while competing in Australia.
I think that Errol is gonna win, but we all know that if it's any kind of way close, he's not getting no decision in Australia. So Errol's gonna have a dominant performance to actually win the fight. But I think that Errol possibly can even knock him out, but I think either one of them can win by knockout. But I think that Errol has a better chance. I just think they had better skills.
No matter who wins, Zab Judah believes fans are about to witness an unforgettable fight. After building a reputation for accurate predictions, he is backing Spence to earn a late stoppage victory. Judah expects Tszyu to create real problems early because of his dangerous style, but believes Spence will gradually figure him out, take control, and finish the fight. He also shared his official round prediction for the stoppage.
My boy says stops. Yo, you've been doing good with the stoppages lately, Soup.
I've been doing good, man. I've been on a roll, right? I've been on a roll.
You calling them stoppages?
A late stoppage. The reason why I picked a late stoppage because Tim Tszyu is gonna be very sharp early. He's gonna be looking to fight. He's young. He got a lot of heart. He's ferocious. He has tenacity, and he's gonna come in there and try to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe for a while, because of Errol Spence's layoff and you know the long layoff, he's gonna take him a couple rounds to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But once he figure it out, I think later on in the fight, the big fish will turn back into the big fish, and he'll walk Tim Tszyu down, and he'll get a late stoppage. I'm predicting around the 9th round, though. Maybe the 9th round.
One of the biggest talking points around this matchup has been the comparison to Roy Jones Jr. versus Danny Green, where Green shocked the world with a major upset. Now Green has given his own prediction for Spence and Tszyu. He believes Tszyu has the power and timing to stop Spence, while also questioning how the long layoff will affect him. However, Green admits time away can sometimes benefit fighters before explaining what Tszyu must do to win.
He fought in 4 years. Beat Ugas, which is a great victory. And so that inactivity is difficult, and it can work in some guys' favour, and it can work against some guys. So it's yet, when the bell goes, that's when we're going to find out. After a couple of rounds, we'll know what kind of Errol Spence is here, and I expect Tim to question what kind of Errol Spence is here pretty early.
If you were in Tim Tszyu's corner, what does Tim Tszyu need to do to win this fight?
I think be calculated, but look, I'm going to say something that's kind of it's contradictory. Be calculated, but he's got to test him early.
Green believes the biggest danger for Spence comes from the time he has spent away from competition. He explains that fighters who stay active build natural reactions and become accustomed to absorbing heavy shots. In his view, inactivity can slow those instincts down, leaving Spence vulnerable when Tszyu starts attacking with power. Green fears that one perfectly timed punch could change the entire fight before Spence has a chance to recover.
Yeah, when you get a punch in the face after a while out, when you're used to getting punched in the face, it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. It frustrates you. The pain you don't feel the pain till later. Broken bones, no matter what. You know, when you hit with the body shot, it hurts. But I think if you can crack him and just land a couple of big blows, because when you're under the bright lights and you get hit with a big heavy shot, it fucking stuns you. You're stunned. Your legs are stunned. It's like whoa, and you stop hearing things. Kind of goes silent. You go into this vortex. Everything just goes, and you got this guy in front of you trying to knock you out, and the crowd's going bonkers. There's lights flashing. There's people everywhere. It's a wild experience.
The predictions are split, the warnings have been delivered, and now Spence and Tszyu must settle everything inside the ring. Will Spence silence the doubters with a statement comeback, or will Tszyu prove he belongs among boxing's elite? Share your prediction in the comments, and subscribe for more fight breakdowns, breaking news, and exclusive boxing updates.